We are reading from the romantic novel Engaged to be Married, Chapter 26, Travelogue, September 4th. It's been 12 weeks since their picnic in the park. The pregnancy has drawn from the few resources of strength that Emily has and has greatly weakened her. Though she is nearly bedridden most days, Emily continues to smile, knowing their child is growing inside of her. Charles informs the hotel manager that his stay will be extended, but he's not sure for how long. They don't know if they will go out anywhere these days. Though he's lost a few clients, Charles really doesn't care. His mind isn't on his career. Nothing else in his life matters but Emily and keeping her safe. He knows that he can go back and most of his clients will return eventually. The numbers that he's interested in these days are those of the trimester version. At the beginning, he had to keep reminding himself that Emily is terminally ill. The baby in her womb, amazingly, had given her a renewed strength for the first 8 weeks. Not physically strong any longer, Emily has continued to show an inner strength that about blows Charles away. He prays each day will pass quickly for Emily so she makes it to her due date. When he considered that it was probably too difficult to imagine Emily's death, that is, it's now been multiplied with the thoughts of losing both his young family at the same time. When her health had started to deteriorate once again, he had made the comment that maybe this wasn't such a good idea to try to start a family. Emily quickly stopped him from going through with that line of thinking. I made peace with that fact long ago, even though I wasn't happy about it. For some reason, cancer seems to be my fate, Charlie. And now the same holds true for our child. For some reason, I was allowed to conceive, and the very possibility is there that this baby may never be born. I have to accept that. We have to accept that. We knew this was a possibility before we ever tried. I know that, I really do, but my mind keeps going back and forth, Em. I believe that this baby has prolonged your life and your time with me. And I'm really happy for that. But deep down, although we've both hoped for that miracle, I knew it was a long shot that you would be able to carry our baby to full term, or even long enough for the baby to survive outside the womb. And I feel like a murderer now by creating a life that I knew would end before it could even begin. Hearing the heartbeat at that last doctor visit was so conflicting for me. Emily reaches for his hand. She holds it to her face. Please know, whatever is the outcome, just knowing that I have life growing inside of me, a life that we created, it's made me so happy. I never thought I would be a mom, and whether this child is born or not, you've made that dream come true. Nothing Charles can say will change the course of their lives at this point, so he just holds her hand and says nothing. The emergency room is so frigid cold. Emily has had to have several warmed blankets. It's inevitable that she re-enters the doors of a hospital since she has now become pregnant. But Emily is doing this for their child, not for herself this time. The first visit to the doctor after her positive home pregnancy test was very stressful for her, though. The doctor was understanding but not happy about their choice to get pregnant in her condition. Her medical mindset on trying to find options for curing Emily's problem that would give her more time to be with her family and carry the baby to full term was quite distressing and overwhelming for the doctor. Emily had to be firm and let the doctor know that she only needed help with pregnancy-related issues and not to bother with her issues. The cancer was a moot point as far as Emily was concerned, After reviewing her charts extensively, the doctor agreed that no further treatment would change the outcome at this stage anyway. As they sat in the waiting room, Emily leaned over sideways to hold Charles' arms, and she moaned a little. Her leg twitched nervously as they wait. He wants to yell at someone and insist they not drag their butts like snails. He grabs a nurse passing by. She is an older lady, so he tries to butter her up. Please, miss, can you see how much pain my wife is in? Could you shuffle some charts around and get her into a bed to lie down before she passes out again? Oh, she's passed out? Why, yes, she has. Charles doesn't mind lying a little to get Emily over to a place where she's more comfortable, and she had passed out in the past. Okay, I'll see what I can do. The nurse shuffles off down the hall. He tries to reassure Emily. It won't be long now. You're so naive, Charlie. When they call my name, answer all their stupid questions for me, will you? Make up stuff if you have to, just like you did just now with that nurse. She smiles and pats his hand. He loves her smile. It reassures him like nothing else is able to. Okay, anything for my lady. And I think I heard your name being called, oh, you of little faith. Emily's name was called, and Charles wheels her over to the check-in window. The proceedings take a while, and he does as Emily asks. She is too weak to raise her hand to hold his at this point, so she leans her cheek against his arm for moral support. They had previously done all the proper paperwork to make Charles power of attorney for his wife, and so they begin to move towards a room. Emily taps on the squeaky wheelchair with her finger. Another wish? He's learned her subtle cues and hints by now. Sure, I will get a different wheelchair when we leave. This one grates on my nerves too. Pathetic me, huh? No, not at all. Anything for you to be more comfortable. I know your head is hurting and you're in pain. You are making our baby inside there, and his mommy needs to have all her strength going towards that and not tolerating this ridiculous excuse for a wheelchair. All the money they bring into this place, but this is a lousy chariot that they gave you. It's unthinkable. Emily laughs in a whispered form. She will feel better in a little while, she knows. Whatever the doctors do for her, it gives her the ability to carry on almost like a normal person for a few days. Both are thankful for that, very thankful. Moaning doesn't make for a calm atmosphere in their hotel room, and they wouldn't want to get kicked out of there. And not even one motorized chair? I insist you push me around. That's your job number one, you know. Oh, of course, my lady. And it is my immense pleasure to do so. No motorized chair it is. Manual all the way. Charles leans down and kisses her on the forehead. Then I shall keep you on for a while longer. Charles was concentrating on her whispered voice, not watching where they were going, so he bumps into the corner of the wall. Emily lets out a slight moan, raises one hand, and waves to Charles to let him know that she's okay. Oops, sorry, Em, my bad. No harm done. I am reconsidering your long-term employment, however, as my chariot driver. Just be aware of that. She chuckles just slightly. Charles doesn't care who is watching. His only goal at this point is to keep Emily smiling. He goes down on his knees and slides around to face her. With hands clasped together, he pleads, Please, my lady, I beseech you for a second chance. Oh, all right. Wheelchair drivers, they are hard to come by these days. She takes a deep breath, but gives him a cheesy smile. Please don't fire me, for I am in love with you too, my lady. Emily can't let this opportunity go. She musters up a burst of disclosure, complete with an accent. Silence, insignificant peasant. A princess in mourning is not supposed to show emotion. Charles gives it his best shot at an English brogue, since she did it first. Of course, my lady. So hush hush on the lovely stuff. A couple of people around them chuckle. The two have a good laugh over their joking and their little slight comedy bit. Charles has learned to discipline himself to stifle any outward sadness brought on by Emily's double meanings these days. Emily's thankful that Charles's spirit has remained high for her. She is far too weak to continue in the role as the primary comedian. He commends themselves on their performance. We would be a great duo act like George Burns and Gracie Allen. Who? Oh, all right, never mind. Way before your time, that's for sure. Charles just shrugs it off. Way before mine, too, actually. They're all reruns, you know. Oh, okay, Charlie. He cringes, waiting for the obvious comeback to come from Emily. This time she doesn't take advantage of the opportunity to call him an old man. Charles understands she's much too exhausted or is in too much pain. She can hardly think straight. It galls Charles that her former doctor would make Emily think that she would not be experiencing much pain when her physical condition started spiraling downhill. That was an outright lie that he had told her. But then he has to remind himself that they didn't expect her to be pregnant so close to the end of her ordeal. It is what it is for Emily and Charles. This is the life they have made. Emily has been so brave so far. She tried for weeks to avoid using the medications unless absolutely necessary. She wanted to give their baby the best chance at survival and growing normally, and she wanted to be alert enough to experience every minute of the pregnancy that she could. Lately, there hasn't been an option. She had to use more and more, and she feels guilty and even scared that she's harming her little one. When the pain gets that bad, she had to go to the ER for fluids and IV meds. The nurse has just gotten her settled on the bed and has checked her vitals and started a bag of fluids. A doctor comes in and reads her chart. He doesn't bother to look at Emily or even address her at all. Abruptly, he turns to Charles to speak to him. Her vitals look okay, a little dehydrated though. I see here that it states that she had an operation for a brain tumor. She has developed some reoccurring discomfort resulting from the trauma that's going on in her head. Is that correct? Yes, but she can speak. The doctor cuts Charles off in mid-sentence. While that's not unusual, it's to be expected under the circumstances. What are you giving the patient for pain? What has been prescribed early on for her condition? He continues to talk, not really expecting an answer, as he pursues her chart information. Emily gets a bit riled at his disrespectful attitude, like she's a little child or has already gone deaf from the tumor. You-hoo, doctor, right here. Can't you see me, doc? The doctor still ignores her and addresses Charles with more seemingly rhetorical questions. Is this occurring more frequently? This reoccurring discomfort? Possibly residual from that operation and or the brain tumor itself. Is she still very coherent? Emily rises up out of the bed and almost yells at the doctor. I can hear you just fine, doc. You're driving me crazy right now. Yes, would you please ask her these things yourself? Charles adds. She settles back into her pillow. To calm Emily down and reserve what little energy she has, Charles squats next to the bed. The doctor is now forced to face both of them. Good move, Charlie, she whispers. Better watch those knees, though, old man. And there she is. I knew that was coming. Delayed a bit, but I knew the old M would be coming back. He smiles at his wife, thankful that she's rediscovered some spunk still residing down in her soul. The doctor begins to reiterate what he had just said then. Emily raises one finger. Her eyes are closed, but her mouth is open, and they wait. You make it sound so sweet and calming. The pain is reoccurring discomfort from all that other trauma that's going on in my head. So can we get real here, Doc? Both you and I know you guys couldn't fix it. You probably even made it much worse for me to deal with. So I just want to be able to live without so much pain and give my baby some time to grow. Is that too much to ask? The ER doctor is taken back by Emily's consciousness of thought and her upfront approach to her sad condition. He cannot seem to bring himself to address the patient. He attempts to give his final word on the matter. Looking at Charles. Yes, I will prescribe her. Charles isn't going to let the doctor off the hook that easy. He jumps up, and although his knees try to give out on him, he forces to nearly sprint as he pushes open the ER room door and exits, leaving the doctor alone with Emily. She giggles a little and shrugs at the doctor. "What was that all about?" the doctor exclaimed. Emily smiles. "Something has made him sick to his tummy, I think. Maybe he had to go to the restroom." "So you were saying, Doc, I need a pill for nausea, but I don't want to sleep all the time, don't you see? Are there options that won't hurt the baby?" "Yes, there are. I'll rewrite you a couple of prescriptions. One to help you sleep, but not all the time. Another to tolerate your pain, and one to settle your stomach. They won't harm the baby if taken as prescribed. Once you finish that bag of fluids, you can go. How's that?" That adds up to 3 prescriptions, but only if you're counting, I guess. 3 prescriptions written out, and we're good to go. Is that right? Emily smiles at the doc and holds out her hand for the prescription papers, but she doesn't bother to offer a thank you. Charles soon re-enters the room to get Emily. He ignores the doctor and looks straight at his wife. "Hey, everything good in here? Are you ready to go?" "Good to go, Charlie. And how did it go out there with you?" Emily winks. "It went. Okay, I see you have 3 little notes for the pharmacist, yes?" "Yes, 3. Okay, take care, folks." The doctor is anxious to get on to another patient. "Take care. What a great bedside manner," Charles says with a sneer. "It's okay, Charlie. Got what we needed, didn't we?" Emily sighs. "Just hope this will work better than what I've had to use." Once the fluids are done, the nurse takes out the IV and gives them their discharge papers. They head out to the car that Charles had leased. He refuses to sign a half-year lease. He refused to sign a half-year lease, though Emily thought that was the wiser way to go. He insisted on a full year, asserting his faith. "Charlie, I have a favor to ask of you. Sort of another wish that I've had for some time. I just couldn't. Okay, what is it? What is this wish? What wish are you keeping from me?" Charles is surprised that Emily has done that because they did have an agreement. "Charlie, this one is on me. I came on it really actually later, after being pregnant. I just didn't know how to ask." "Okay, I'm bracing for a tough one coming up here." Charles is not sure he wants to know, especially if it has anything to do with her funeral arrangements. He's dreading that other shoe to drop. He'd rather it be later than sooner, of course. "Well," she begins, "you see, I'd like to go to a church, a real church, with a steeple and a minister, and I want to speak with the minister, Charlie." "Wow, I really did not expect this." "I think one session might be enough, Charlie. I have a ton of questions, and I just can't get them out of my head." "Would you be okay with that? Would you make an appointment for me?" "If that's what you want, I can do it for you, sure. I'll call around and make an appointment." "What flavor?" Charles has to hold back the tears. He sighs, figuring it's essentially funeral arrangements that's on Emily's mind. "Ice cream? Now? What are you talking about?" Emily can't imagine why he would change the topic so quickly and ask her about a favorite ice cream. He chuckles. "Sorry, Em. Churches. What church do you want to go? There's the Baptists and the United Methodists and the Pentecostals and Catholics, the Lutherans. There's Jewish synagogues." Charles is not very happy learning her last secret wish to fulfill. Knowing that she hasn't been able to stop thinking on it makes him feel even worse for her. He has tried his level best to keep Emily from focusing on the inevitable future ahead of her. Here they find themselves facing it head-on with her request. Emily doesn't answer right away. Obviously, she's having to think which direction to go. Not once has he turned down any of her requests, and though this will be the hardest thing he has ever done in his life, Charles won't refuse her now either. First things first, we'll go to the pharmacy and secure you some of those new and improved happy pills, so you don't go off on the minister like you just did with that doctor. You were brutal back there to him. But he laughed. And I have to say that I am so proud of you. Thanks. I really tried. Emily offers a weak smile. When they get to the hotel, Charles begins the search on the internet for old-fashioned churches with steeples and a minister. One who'll be willing to answer those troubling questions that Emily has been pondering. He is up front from the start, fully informing each preacher who answers their phone. He makes it no secret that she is dying and needs to speak with the minister right away. Many preachers beg off from the intensity of such a session, saying they are busily occupied with congregants in their own church affairs. Some insist that if she didn't belong to their church, then they just couldn't help her. After those failed attempts at securing a counseling session, Charles happens on one soft-spoken minister. He seems to understand the severity and the timing of the situation as well. The minister is willing to see Emily on her time schedule too. She is all smiles. Then yes, right away, please. Tell him right away. With a heavy heart and a resigned sigh, Charles agrees to make the appointment for the very next afternoon because Emily is feeling the best she will feel for the next couple of weeks. All the while, Charles contemplates why Emily is so thrilled to be taking this ominous step. We have ended with chapter 26 of the romance novel Engaged to be Married. We'll continue next audio video reading with chapter 27 of Engaged to be Married.